Hey you folks, welcome back to the Play School. It's me Phil with another piano tutorial. So before the craziness around the Oasis reunion dies down, I thought I'd slide one more Oasis song in. This one is called The Masterplan. Now this is a great track. It's a classic acoustic guitar track and that shows in some of the chord voicings. So what I'm going to do is help you put those onto piano. So what I suggest, print out the chord sheet from below. Let's get cracking. Okay, so this song is in the key of, let's call it C, but it starts in A minor. A minor and C, kind of the same thing. Largely all the white notes, except I think for, there's the E chord. Now, in this intro, we've got this kind of pattern. On the guitar, it's more of a pattern than a chord sequence. So the chord names are kind of maybe up for debate. What I really want you to focus on is the pattern that your fingers make. So your first chord is going to be an A minor, add 9. Now, what that means is, if we count up from A in the A minor scale, let's just use the natural minor, which is all the white notes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We get a B. And there's your first chord. Now, we're actually going to put it here. The actual guitar voicing for this first chord is that order, right? And these strings remain open, right, which gives it a kind of like clashing effect, which is very redolent of the piece. So there's your first chord, A minor, add 9. Now we are going to use in both the verse and the chorus a descending bass line. Your descending bass line for your verse goes A, G sharp, G, F sharp, F, right? And all you're going to do is have your thumb follow that with your right hand, okay? Because these three notes are just there the whole time, right? So your first chord, A minor 9, A minor add 9. I'm going to call this A minor 9, A minor add 9 over G sharp, just because we're not changing anything except for this root note, okay? So there's there, right? These two notes moving in parallel all the way down. A minor add 9. Same over G sharp. Same over G. Right? Same over F sharp. Same over F. Okay? And that's where this chromatic, which means every single available note, that's where that chromatic sequence finishes. Now, there's a bit of strumming going on here, but on the piano, I would concentrate on keeping the right hand nice and straight with these quarter notes, one every beat. 2, 2, 3, 4. And that's what your bass guitar does, right? 2, 3, 4, and 1. Okay? So let's take that one more time. We're going to go over G sharp to G, same three notes. Now here, we're going to go to an A minor 9 slash D. Now rather than try and get all the way down there, which is very awkward, we're actually just going to come back to our A minor add 9 in its original position. So that's the same chord as we started on, but just D at the bottom. And then this time we're going to go to A minor 7. Now, many of you will have heard this a number of times before, but for the new people here, A minor looks like that without the added ninth. To find 7 chords, all we need to do when we're in root position, which we are, A, C, E, is drop this thumb 2 half steps. Gives you A minor 7, right? So we've gone from A minor 9 over D, A minor 7. Our last chord is E7. So let's work that out. Let's start with our E chord. E is E, G sharp, B. Right? We are here. Now, if we're just playing E, I would suggest reaching away because your pinky's already on that E and you can find the G sharp and the B just there. And the trick that we use to find 7 still works here, but we have to remember that our root note, our E, is now at the top. So that's the one that we have to drop down by 2 half steps. Now this is okay, but generally speaking, I would keep the E in if the root note is at the top. And also remember, we've had this going through that whole intro, right? So I'd go A minor 7, and to your E7 there. Okay, let's run that whole intro. Stepping down. Back to your A minor 9, add 9, A minor 7, E7, and of course that goes round twice. Right, having done that, we're into the verse. Now this has got some really interesting chords in. Again, it's all about Noel Gallagher moving these positions around the guitar and leaving strings ringing out. So the chords are guidance. I really want you to watch where the finger patterns live. Okay, so we're going to start with an A minor chord. Just a complete A minor, okay? Now our second chord is G6 over A. So let's start with the G. So G, we're here. We're going to go to G, D, D, root position. It's just a step of everything down. Right, now the 6, that just means, like we did with the 9 or with the 7, we count 6 from G with briefly thinking in the key of G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And look there, we've got that E. Now the E, actually it's this E here, but E is the highest string on the guitar. And this is the one that Noel Gallagher leaves open for almost the entirety of this song. So you'll notice it keeps cropping up. So we've got A minor, G6 over A. Now G6 slash A or over A means that we just keep the bass, your left hand as an A. So there's G6. And then we're going to go to F major 7. Now, let's just work it out again. F, A, C, also in root position. And then the 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, I will put in here, just so we're clear, that major 7 is different to 7, right? The 7, as we discovered before, is 2 half steps. Sounds kind of bluesy, right? Your major 7 refers to the actual major scale, right? And the last step of a major scale is always the closest available note, chromatic, that half step, right? And what that means is that our F major 7 looks like that, evenly spaced notes, okay? Then we're going to go back to G6, and then we're going to do that A minor to E7 that we did before. And that is your verse pattern pretty much. Let's go through it, excuse me, one more time. Take the time to make some sense of what you want to say. Cast your words away upon the waves. And that little rhythm piece at the end there. Cast your words away upon 1, 2, and 3, 4. It's the only little rhythmic change that I think it's important that you get right because it's very emblematic of the song. Second time round, sailing home with acquiesce on a shore of hope today. As they land upon the shore. So we're the same up to there, right? Excuse me. We're the same up to here. Land upon the shore. Here we're going to go to a D chord. So that's, we're on an F major, a G6. We're going to just shift downwards. We have got the D, so we're going to keep that at the top of our D chord. And it goes D, F sharp, A, right? And then we're going to go back up to our F major 7. Tell them not to fear no more. And then back to G. Now this is the first time we've met G in its actual kind of most simple, unadorned root position. G, G, B, D. Say it loud and sing it proud. There's this E7 again, in exactly the same place as we've done before. E at the bottom, E, G sharp, B, D. All right. Let me take you through the last bit again. D, F major 7 again, but with an F this time, right? Then G, nice and simple, build it up to E7, right? Okay, let's try that verse all the way through. So we've finished on an A minor 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take the time to make some sense of what you want to say. Cast your words away upon the wave. 3, 4. Sail them home with acquiesce on a ship of hope today. And as they land upon the shore, tell them not to fear no more. Say it loud, double bass line today. And you're into the chorus. Right, so our chorus is another descending bass line with accompanying chord pattern. Now, I almost feel like we've done this exact chord sequence or something very similar before. Hopefully, these things are starting to become familiar because there's a lot of them. Right, so we have gone from E7, we're going to a C major chord. This is why the chorus sounds brighter, because it goes from the minor to C as the relative major for what it's worth, and that's what makes it sound happier in the chorus than it does in the verse. We're going to go to a C chord, C, E, G. Imagine we've gone from E7 to A minor like that. Actually, C is exactly the same as what you were playing for your A minor 7 chord, right? Also worth remembering. When you put it with C, nice happy C major chord. Dance if you want to dance. We played G6 before. Next chord, G, B, D, E. But this time we're going to go with a B. Okay. Next we're going back to our A minor 7. And then after that we'll go to just a proper G. Let's take the whole thing, and then we're down to F major 7 again. And we've met this before, evenly spaced chord. Back to G. C and back to G, right? These are lovely changes. C to G in particular. Keep your thumb there, contract down to your G. Let's take that all together. And dance if you want to dance, please wanna take a chance. You know they're gonna go which way they wanna go. Knows the way, and same again how it's gonna be. Please won't life on the other, we're all part of a master plan. And then we're back to here. Okay, and that, simply put, is your chorus. Let me take you through those chords a little more slowly one more time, just for good measure. It seemed like I did that very quickly. C, G. Contract move, but keeping the E for the G6/B. Keep on walking down. Remember, walking all the way down to F, to A, over this, back to your C chord, which makes A minor 7. And then a regular G. And then F major 7, which is like a step down, and then back to G, and then we're just jumping between those chords. C, G, then we do it all again. Okay, again, let's take that chorus all the way through with the words this time. So say it loud and sing it proud today. And then dance if you wanna dance, please brother take a chance. You know they're gonna go which way they wanna go. We know is that we don't know how it's gonna be. Please brother let it be. Life on the other won't make you understand. We're all part of a master plan. This is where you get that guitar solo. Sorry, is the verse chord, not the intro chords like I just played. Right, you actually know everything you need to know in order to play the Masterplan now. So let's talk about the structure. We have got our intro, then we have a verse, then we have a chorus. Very easy peasy. Now, actually, this is an unusual place for a guitar solo. The guitar solo comes out of the verse. We're all part of a Masterplan, and we're going to go into our verse, right? And play the verse all the way through, just as you did in the first verse. And the guitar solo goes over the top of that wailing kind of guitar. After that, we will have, well, at the end of the guitar solo, you will sing loud, sing it proud today. But then you go, I'm not saying right is wrong. It's up to, and you're into verse 2. Okay? After verse 2, you'll have the chorus. And then we're into the outro and the ending. Okay, so the outro, there's kind of two. We've got outro 1, outro 2. The first one is you're just going to play like the first few chords of the chorus. So it's going to be C, G6 over B, A minor 7 and G. But then instead of continuing down our descending bass line, we're just going to go round that. So we've got that 4 times. So let's say this is the 4th time. And then we've got the singing. And that happens twice. Just an F in root position. If you want, let's do that actually. We're on the piano. And you will start on your F. Yeah, so you play, imagine, let's take that F chord now. This is like an inversion of our F chord. F goes up to F, A goes up to A. Right, if we can spot that chord, sounds the same but different position. Then you're into G. Exactly the same thing with the G. So it's G up to inversions. And then we do on our E7, which we'll pick up in the same place. Now, think about the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of, like, we're quite used to splitting things into 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. What actually happens here is what we call triplets. And that is where we split the beat not into 1 or into 2, but into 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Or if we're counting properly, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1. Let me take through an outro again. So we're going to jump up. And then outro 2 is just like the intro. Remember, back to the A minor 9 with the D. And then we finish on our A minor add 9. No extra jazz today because I just threw it in with the outro for you. Have fun with that. Make sure you listen to the track before you try and play it. That's all from me. I'll see you in the next video.